Hellboy 2019 symbolism. So first off, you got Kamazats and you have RamaJesuQuatl, which is Hellboy right now. He's playing multiple roles. He's multiple roles right now. So Kamazats, the guardian at the gate of the underworld and Aztec Mayan. All right, but at the same time, if you know something about something, you know that Quetzalcoatl is also basically like a Christ figure, going through the same kind of process as the Jesus archetype. So notice he's betrayed by his brother. It's his friend. He assumes it's his friend, and it's all this hatred. As soon as he walks in, it's like, they hate him and they don't know why. That's why I put that scripture up there. So, he's fighting them, blah, 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 blah. And then gets to a point where he's like, oh, yeah, you act like a saint, but let's see what's under your mask. And really, Esteban is the one who's wearing a mask. And Hellboy is actually being very, very patient with him. So, worst comes to worst. The truth is exposed. The guy underneath was a vampire the whole time. Just keep watching as this goes down. I mean, the fight isn't necessarily important, but the people's reaction is. Now everybody's scared of him. Oh no, this guy we was just cheering for is something else. So he accidentally kills him, right? And this is the point where he actually calls him by his name, which is Anung Un Rama. And that's extremely important because that aligns him with another deity, Rama, like Rama, Vishnu, and shows his role as basically that character or some of his incarnations, which I'm going to get into. Your heart beats with rage. That's extremely important. All of this is manticore symbolism. So a manticore is basically a creature as described at the end of, at the end of the Bible, in Revelations. They're saying like he's, I'm going to actually put the information up right here. Bam, so pause and read that, and note the scorpion stings. People are confused about what the scorpion stings are. They want to believe that it's a gun. They want to believe that it's soldiers in the military. They want to believe that the manticores, the bad guys. Well, ultimately, and what this movie is kind of getting at and also subverting at the same time, is that humanity is due for an ass whooping. And this whole thing is about stopping that ass whooping from coming. Now, notice that from the very beginning of the movie, they make a treaty with Queen Nimue, Queen of Blood, right? She's she's unkillable, okay? She's eternal. She even says, "My rage is eternal," or "I am vengeance eternal." It's just like, what? Like, what's going on here? You know who that is? You know who she really is? That's Sekhmet. That's Sekhmet. That's Kali. So, of course, she's trying to seduce Hellboy, it seems like, and it's like, oh, don't fall for her. Look at all these monsters. They're the bad guys. They eat people and all sorts of shit, right? So that is, again, a subversion. So they take the characters who were betrayed and they make them into monsters. But what they're not showing you is that they're consumed by the rage of what happened to them and what made them the way that they are now. Hellboy's story is already established, and the monsters are what the monsters are. They do what the monsters do. But let's not forget that humanity is the monsters. Humans are monsters. So right here, actually, I'm going to add what the definition of human actually is, which if you go into it legally, it says C monster, S-E-E monster, and then you go and you define monster having a semblance of mankind, meaning that humanity is not mankind. So going into this, you saw that he was betrayed. He's pissed off at his dad, like, "You sending me to kill my brothers and sisters." He's pissed, and he's using his heavy hand. He's using his big hand, his destructive hand, to try to go up, but it's only taking him down faster and further. And this is when he gets taken into the realm of Baba Yaga, who tries to feed him a human child, right? So again, now I'm not saying that people should eat people or people should be eaten necessarily, but a lot of the deific stories, when it comes to the end of the world, like when it deals with Kali and Lord Kalki, which is actually one of the forms or one of the deities that Hellboy is representing, which is coming up real soon, is all about elimination of those who are unworthy. So even your Jesus is saying, don't assume that when I return, I come to bring peace. When I return, I come bearing a sword. So this all goes back linguistically to Ares, which is why he's red. Kalki, the fiery sword, the reset basically of the reality, putting it back into the hands of the worthy, which is not even in the hands of the worthy. It's just the worthy being, because it's not about enslaving other things when it comes down to it. Those who know. It's very simple. It's not something that you have to think about. It's not something that you have to enforce. It's just something that is. Now, don't get me wrong. There are things that would have to be, well, actually, I don't even think there's things that would have to be done. Things would just work out as they're supposed to. But she's telling about how he's going to be a hero, Het Heru. He's going to be a hero, which is to say, what a hero is one who eliminates the dark side of themselves, which is what, lo and behold, what Cain represents. But people don't understand symbology that well. They don't understand how the stories are actually referring to aspects of their character. So a guy who's growing produce, growing from the ground, requires sunlight to do so, which is why when his brother is killed, his dark half, his shadow was killed, which the God of the Bible for some reason favored. We got to question that because he was a slaughterer, which is murder anyway. What happened to the fruit should be your meat, like, see how that turns out. But he slays his brother, and then he's cast out. He's cast out amongst the wolves, which is the same thing that Jesus says to his disciples, saying that I'm sending you out as sheep unto the wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as serpents and gentle as doves. So this whole thing, boom. He grabs Excalibur. What people don't understand about Excalibur is the symbolism is about what the sword and stone represent is the eye in the space, or the eye in the body, your spirit in the matter. So notice that it had a vibration to it. It was a high vibratory thing, and when he grabs it, he takes on the personification of Lord Kalki and what he does. And this is what Lord Kalki does. But here it's like, oh no, it's such a horrible thing. But this is even how the Bible does it. Like if you look at like the Cain story, it's like, well, you wouldn't want to be that kind of person. Of course not. You don't want to be that kind of guy who betrays their own brother because of their greatness, or some jealousy that you feel. But this is actually showing you like how they subvert that, where it's something that's supposed to happen, but we're gonna frame it in a bad way. So you're like, oh no, that's not good. We need to stop that from happening. And here he's fighting a Grogouch, which is actually ironic because while he's actually taking on incarnation of Vishnu, Vishnu actually takes the form of a boar to fight a demon, yada yada yada, and to rescue the world from sinking into the cosmic ocean. And then Daimyo awakens his Tezcatlipoca, his jaguar form, to come help him. So this solidifies the two twins, the light and the dark twins, the personification. So he's of fire and the other one is of darkness, the dragon and the cat. So pay attention to that. But they're vilifying the manticore because it's like, oh no, like humans can't, suffer from what it is that they've done, all the lying and all the shit that's going on. It's just like, why the fuck not? Avenged sevenfold. It's coming.